joint press conference for Latvian Foreign Minister Baiba Braže and Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Tsahkna. Please.
So now we're in. Baiba, welcome to Estonia. It's a very famous phrase. Years ago, I think that Estonia spent a couple of hundreds of thousands of taxpayers' money to create this slogan, but it works till now. I remember maybe even one minister lost a job at this time, but I'm very happy that you had an opportunity to come here. I know this is a free day in Latvia, and I really do hope that you have very fruitful and also at least a sunny day in Tallinn, and we have very close cooperation, and I'm really happy that you were nominated as a new foreign minister of Latvia, and you have a great experience, and our cooperation is already very practical and very good. And first of all, of course, let me use this opportunity to congratulate Latvian people and you as well on the 34th of anniversary of restoration of independence of Republic of Latvia. It is very important, mainly nowadays, and freedom is not granted, and we are all very happy. We have we are so like-minded, and somehow I'm even thinking that why we are meeting, because we are having so many topics leaded together. But of course the times are very important, and I'm very happy about our cooperation. Of course, on international level, on EU and NATO level, you have a extremely good experience on NATO, and I think that this security situation, what we have in our region, needs this kind of cooperation. And of course, we are very happy that Finland and Sweden decided to join NATO, and our experience as well is very useful. How to make plans and how to guarantee that our region and Europe as a whole will be protected in the future. Of course, we have a common understanding about how can we stand against the Russian aggression against Ukraine. This week we are going to pass in our parliament the frozen assets law draft, the second reading. We are going to discuss about these topics, but as well as our bilateral agreements. Estonia is preparing the bilateral agreement with Ukraine. The main focus is 0.25% of GDP military support, but Latvia, you have already done it, and I'm very happy that this initiative is going to be more wider. If we all put together as an allies 0.25% of GDP military support per year, all allies, then we are gathering approximately 120 billion euros worth military support per 1 year, and it will be enough for Ukraine to win the war. So as well, we are showing here as a good example for everybody else. Of course, we are sharing the same understanding about Ukraine, full membership of European Union, about NATO. We are working together closely. This regards, and also about the sanctions we were discussing, and we will be discussed after this press conference with our business lunch. How can we do and what can we do more, preparing the 14th sanction package. So, but also bilaterally, we are so close. I think that we have the deepest business relations, also cultural relations. So many things to discuss, and also rail politics is one huge historical project we have to move forward. We definitely will discuss how can we arrange that. And finally, I just would like to mention the dark side of our everyday life as well, the hybrid attacks on all different levels, not only against Estonia and Latvia, but also in Europe more widely. During the last couple of days, this kind of Russian initiatives, they have brought public as well. We have this experience in Estonia, but also we have to protect together the European Union and NATO border. So we understand that Russia is not only exercising the military attacks and aggressions, but this aggression is already ongoingly hybrid level everywhere, and we are, as a border countries, we have to share these experiences, and also we have to speak it up and out very loudly, and we do it. So thank you very much, Baiba, for coming. Just mentioned some points of our cooperation, but we have plenty of them, and thank you again for coming here to Estonia. Thank you. So please.
Tere, and good to be here in Tallinn on a bilateral visit. Obviously, it's not my first time. One of the favorite destinations for all Latvians, cultural tourism, especially now also when Estonia, Tartu is holding the European Capital of Culture, but Tallinn is always special. I have met the President, the Speaker of the Parliament, the Chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee with the members, and it's no secret that also, as Minister Tsahkna said, Margus, that indeed largely it's a meeting of minds. So we don't have to agree anymore on what to do, but just how to sort of advance certain tactics, how to get to the outcomes that we want to achieve. And that relates both to strengthening our own security within NATO, so our own capabilities, allies, presence, results from the NATO summit in Washington. It relates to supporting Ukraine, practically, cognitively, legally, financially, humanitarianly, anything that we can do, and also containing Russia and preventing Russia to restore its capabilities to fight the war. And there, as the minister said, it's about money. So the oil cap, the limiting ability of Russia to earn frozen assets and so on and so forth. It's about certain parts of missile production. It's about engaging with China, preventing avoidance of sanctions through other parts of Europe or Central Asia or other countries. So there's a lot of foreign policy contacts that need to be advanced. And then it's also, of course, about making sure, looking at the future, making sure that we do have that containment policy of Russia across the EU, across NATO, across the like-minded states. So global engagement with countries to maintain the rules-based international system. So this is where, the very practical conversations have taken place over the weekend, basically from the first day of my appointment. And Markus was the first to congratulate me on that day, so well informed. Your ambassador is doing a good job in Riga, apparently. So we are, also on behalf of my delegation, very happy to be here, and we'll continue our lunch with more in-depth and deep dive conversations on the next steps. I will also be happy to host you in Latvia this summer for the annual language award. We have a special award to advance Latvian, Estonian language knowledge, the work of our translators, literature experts, books, and so on and so forth. So we will make it more interactive and interesting for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. And for the question, Ott Tammik from Bloomberg, please.
And I learned that the word saldējums is known by everyone in Estonia, apparently.
Yeah, hi there. Ott Tammik from Bloomberg News. I had a question about this for both
Can
ministers.
you speak up a little bit, please?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Question about this ship called the Zircon that's been operating off Gotland and other parts of the Baltic Sea. It's a refueling ship that's been providing services for larger tankers that have been carrying oil, trading with other countries, Russian oil. And I was reportedly it's provided services to hundreds of ships over the last 6 months or so. And at a time when the price of Russian oil has been beyond the oil cap set by G7 countries. So I was just wondering what you think, if you've been monitoring this ship, should it be stopped, and what steps you've taken or plan to take in regards to that? Thank you. And the question for both ministers.
For both of us.
Yeah, thank you.
I will go first. It's a typical case, a ship of doing nothing illegal, because everything that it does in international waters currently is legal under EU regulations and international law, but it's not right, because of course what it does, and whether it's under Estonian law in terms of ownership, or Latvian company providing services, or Cypriot flag, it's a typical case of allowing Russia to earn money, earn currency that it shouldn't. So we have to find the way how either the bunkering services are not supported under the EU legislation, under the EU rules, or we have to find other ways how to limit the provision of those services and how to deal with that. Our agencies looked into it. Currently, it's nothing illegal, so they are not technically violating any law. That doesn't make it right, in my view. Okay, but we are a legal country.
And of course, the ship's owned by a Latvian company that's in turn owned by Estonia.
No, the ship is not owned by a Latvian company. No,
Well, it was, I think, until
No.
March.
it's a company that's providing bunkering services that is a Latvian registered company.
Yes, that's the ship I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, just adding, I totally agree with Minister about these positions. That one thing is that if there is everything is legal, but it's not right, and that's the question what we have to deal with. We discussed this topic as well when we had this NBA format ministers meeting in Gotland. What can we do? And of course. We have to act as well, and we prepare this kind of steps for the next package, 14th package of European Union. But it's not easy way to go, be honest. Estonia has offered as well already. I don't know how many times to this European sanctions, total embargo of trade at all with Russia. But finally, to find a way out on EU level is another question. But anyways, we have to address this topic. It's one thing. Second is about the price cap in the meaning, but we don't know exactly the prices, what is still there. But anyways, it is the way how to support somehow the Russian war machine, and this is something we on moral ground we have said both that we are not tolerating that at all. I was in a visit a couple of months ago in DC, but the US is actually doing a great job about this shadow fleet policy. And I think this is something we have to cooperate on EU level as well with US. Because one thing is how formally these different companies or whatever, they can, just pass them. But the second thing is how can we actually sanction, and how can we put sanctions in work forced by political will. And this political will, I hope that we will find on EU level as well. But definitely there is another part as well, is environmental part. So we have to be very careful as well. Whatever happens with this, it's one ship, but actually on the north coast of Estonia, we have plenty of them who are waiting the lineup to Russia. And if anything is happening with these ships on the environmental level, so we are responsible. Our environment is, will be damaged. So there are two aspects. One is, of course, Russia and sanctions, but the other is actually environmental part. So we are working very closely here together, and we are trying to find a way out. Thank you very much.
And the second question, Estonian Public Broadcast, Joachim Clementi, please.
Recently, the Baltic states raised the alarm when it comes to this GPS jamming being done by Russia. Have our allies in NATO heard this concern? Recently, there was this public statement by NATO, but is the statement that's all that's being done, or what can actually NATO do to counter these hybrid attacks which are orchestrated by Russia against many of the allies in the alliance?
You need to be more precise, indicating
Okay,
to whom the question is addressed, because otherwise we'll be covering the same things. On the Latvian side, we had extensive consultations with the Civil Aviation Agency, with our services, and with other partners. It has not endangered the civil aviation in Latvia directly, so we have not had the cases where we would have had to abandon the flights directly. But indeed, it's a concern that something like that is happening. So very clearly, we supported the NAC statement and the sort of further steps to understand what exactly is happening and how it's done and how it's affecting all of us. So 2 points. One is the overall civil aviation situation, and the second, the security concerns and how they can be addressed.
How can they be addressed? Do you have experience with NATO? Can NATO's job?
So it's, the NATO's job, NATO's job. So you have several layers. One is the overall awareness, situational awareness, which is exchange of intelligence, open source intelligence services to create sufficient basis of understanding and a common ground to sort of then decide of taking action. So this is where we are in currently, to really set out what we know, what we don't know, what is what, and so on and so forth. The next step is what are the best actions depending on what course we need to take, what are the best steps to identify. There are various sources. There's legal way, there's political way, there's military way. So it depends. It depends what the allies altogether come with and what is the most efficient way to achieve a certain outcome.
Should I answer in English or in Estonian? Because this is Estonian.
I would prefer Estonian, but
Okay.
But then you need to translate for me, and then we can check how good you are.
No, the case is there are like many levels. One is the first is always the practical part. We have to protect our people. We have to protect our aviation security and so on. So in Estonia we have a case when this Finnair plane couldn't land in Tartu. But of course we are going to take measures about this, maybe changing some technically in Tartu airfield and so on. But the political level and as well the practical level is that the hybrid threats are there. We are already in a hybrid war in the meaning. So we have, I think, the 24/7 cyber attacks in Estonia. We had one of the biggest cyber attack in our history, like just a bit more than 1 month ago, when within 4 hours we got against the governmental domain eesti.ee for more than 3 billion requests and so on. Then we have arrested more than 10 persons in Estonia, which were guided, financed by the secret services of Russia. Now today and yesterday's news as well, all over Europe, Russia is committing this kind of aggression, I can say, even hybrid attacks. Then we have this border situation with Finland, with Latvia, with Lithuania, with Poland, also with Estonia. It's quiet now in Estonia. But this is a part how to divide, how to attack our societies. So as well the GPS jamming. Russia is violating all different international agreements about that. They have to be part as well to secure the aviation. They have to be part of securing the GPS signal, but they definitely know what they're doing. So and our duty is to raise this question on the practical level. How can we protect our societies, but also on political level, on EU, on NATO level. And as well, the NATO addressed a couple of days ago with this declaration, this kind of hybrid attacks threats. And as well, a part of this was risen from our side, from Estonian side. So we have to not to live with this hybrid attacks only like peacefully, but we have to address them on all different levels. It doesn't change. It won't get better. And also at the same time, we have to take measures to prepare our societies, our people, our companies, our governments. How can we live with that? But we cannot accept them. That's the main point. Thank you.
And the Nordic countries know that also in the north
Yes.
it's been happening, especially Norway knows quite well the jamming there.
We should expect further action from NATO when the allies have discussed this solution.
We will do it together, again, when there is a proper intel body and when there is a sort of understanding on what we want to achieve. There is a way to achieve that.
I saw the problem when we are not acting at all, when we are not addressing even on political level, because this GPS jamming started already like 2 years ago. And we have had different cases, as Minister as well mentioned, from up to north to south. So now we have risen this question on political level to address it, and there are like many aspects, as Minister as well explained. What can we do? But we must act. We just cannot live with that, because this is a GPS today. Is very like elementary part of our lives on all different matters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank everyone for coming, and the press conference is over.
Okay. You're good?
you.